Hi, I'm Belle, welcome back to my channel. Today is Monday the 5th of August 2019 and I am tonight recording my weekly weigh-in update, although actually I think I've got to update you on the last couple of weeks. I think the last time I updated you on how I was going was like the 24th of July or something like that, and I let you know I think that I'd put on £1.5 or something like that week. And if you're new, I'm Belle, and I at the moment do a combination of Slimming World and calorie counting using my Fitness Pal. Over the years I've done a mixture of Slimming World, calorie counting, Weight Watchers, and I did Slimming World for a long time and really enjoyed the plan. But over the last couple of months, even though I was a Slimming World online member, I've been doing a bit more kind of calorie counting over the summer. So on the 24th, as I say, I'd put on £1.5. I'd been out for loads of meals the week before, and a couple of days after I recorded that update, I was talking to a friend and they mentioned how they really wanted to join Slimming World, and I've obviously been a Slimming World member before, but at the moment, as I said, well, at that point I was a Slimming World online member. And we talked things through, and I really wanted to support that person with their journey. And even though I'm not, wholeheartedly doing Slimming World at the moment, and if I'm honest, I considered joining Weight Watchers, the person was really keen to do Slimming World. So on the Friday of that week, which was the 26th of July, I actually went back and joined a Slimming World group. And the reason for that is I contacted one of the consultants or leaders or whatever they're called, who I knew, and they mentioned that it would be okay for us to go and weigh before we went to work. So go super early before the class really starts and kind of weigh in. And for me, that is absolutely perfect, because as you know, one of the main reasons that I stopped going to group was that I really struggled to get there in the evening because I'd get caught up at work or caught in traffic. And now on a Tuesday, which is the night I used to go to group, I go to Zumba. And so as a result, like, evening classes weren't really working. So being able to go to group first thing in the morning is actually genius, because it means it keeps my evenings free. I can pop in really quickly before I go to work. It's fantastic. So, but if I'm honest, also one of the main reasons that I decided to go back, because obviously I was doing it online anyway, was I really wanted to support them. And there's two reasons for that. One, I want to support them on their journey, but also if they are like on a weight loss journey, that in turn supports me, because they are one of the people that I tend to eat out with the most. And as a result, if they are focused on losing weight, that in turn helps me too, because it means that I'm not going to be going out for so many kind of off-plan meals. Don't want to say off-plan, but that's what they are, high calorie meals. So yeah, it benefits me as well with them being on a journey. So on that Friday, I went to group before work, and I rejoined as a group member. And I was in two minds about whether to do that, because I've quite enjoyed kind of doing the Slimming World online thing recently. However, I do think there is something about the discipline for me of going to group that kind of keeps me a little bit more focused. And even though I was weighing myself and I was logging my weight online, over the last 6 weeks or whatever it's been since I've been doing it online, my weight hasn't gone down a huge amount. It's kind of done this a little bit. And even though I am a little bit lighter than when I was last at group, I haven't seen any major drops over that period where I've been kind of doing Slimming World online. So actually I think it's good discipline for me to be back at group now. I've found a group that I can go to before work. So When I first weighed in on the 26th, I weighed 12 stone 6. And just a reminder that when I first started my Slimming World journey, I was 14 stone 6.5. But I made a decision when I went back to group, not this Friday, the Friday before, that I was going to completely scrap my history. And the reason for that was I feel like basically over the last year what I've done is maintained my 2 and a bit stone weight loss, but it hasn't gone down really. And for me that's a bit of an achievement anyway, because I tend to be a proper yo-yo dieter, so the fact that I haven't put any of it on is a bit of an achievement. But that being said, I still want to lose more weight, so I decided that actually psychologically for me to almost be starting afresh, even though I've kind of banked my 2 stone and a bit weight loss, starting from scratch I thought would put a bit more, I don't want to say pressure, but would keep me focused, knowing that I had a kind of clean slate and I was starting this chapter of my journey from scratch. So I cleared all my history, as I say, got a new book, got a new start weight in it, which as I say was 12 stone 6. And so that was a week ago on Friday. And then when I went in last Friday, I stood on the scales and I lost 3 pounds. So I weighed in at 12 stone 3 with a 3 pound loss. So I am really pleased with that. I, as I say, can't confess that I'm doing Slimming World, the proper Slimming World way all the time. I definitely, that's definitely not the case. But I'm finding using my Fitness Pal and doing that, and then sometimes doing Slimming World is obviously working okay for me. I'm also going to the gym. People have asked me which plan I prefer, so calorie counting or Slimming World, and I do think they've both got pros and cons. So for me, I probably prefer the food slightly more that I eat on when I'm calorie counting, because I tend to prefer kind of bread and wraps and bagels and things like that. I know I've said this before, but I tend to prefer bread and bagels and wraps and cereal and things like that for my kind of carbs, rather than sort of rice or pasta and potatoes, just because it's kind of quicker to grab. I don't have to cook anything. I'm always in a rush. I often get in late. So actually being able to eat those kind of foods, so grab a wrap or grab a sandwich, has been great. It also means if I do go a bit wayward and have some biscuits or something and get to my calorie point, I can just kind of put it back for the rest of the day. And whether that means that I eat all my calories between like 7 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I don't eat again till the next morning because I've hit my calories, I'm fine with that. Like I can kind of pull it back by sort of limiting my calories for the rest of the day. However, I am very, very aware that I eat much, much better, healthier foods when I'm doing Slimming World. So when I'm doing Slimming World, one of the things I really like about the plan is it encourages me to eat lots of fruit and veg, eat lean meat, fish, that kind of thing. And I know there's probably people watching this who are like, well, you could just do that on calorie counting. You could just, you know, eat salads all the time and blah, blah, blah. Yes, I could, obviously, but I don't have that kind of discipline. And I called this about 6-9 months ago when I was debating moving over to calorie counting. I called this, I said, what I will do if I end up calorie counting is I will end up using all my calories on the wrong foods. And whilst it's not all on the wrong foods, I definitely am eating more biscuits, things like that, or using my calories on treaty things more than I am on cucumber or salad or fruit or veg or whatever. And I knew that that would happen if I started calorie counting. And the one thing I feel about calorie counting is you have got to be super disciplined, because you sometimes have foods in the house that you wouldn't necessarily have if you were just following Slimming World. So again, things like bread and blah, blah, blah. And not just the little slices of bread like wraps and bagels and all that kind of malarkey. So you've got to be super disciplined on how much of them you consume, but you've also got to really, well, for me, I've got to really sort of persuade myself to eat the food that is better for me, the fruit, the veg, and to use my calories on them. And of course it bulks out my meal to have fruit and veg, but I've got to be honest, I've been a bit slack on that. And so I am quite conscious that on Slimming World I do eat much, much better. And as we go towards winter, I know, and I've said this before, I will probably shift back to doing a bit more sort of Slimming World way of eating, because I love being able to just chuck stuff in a slow cooker. I love being able to make my own soups with loads of veggies in. And yeah, I feel like that lends itself really well to Slimming World. So that's where I am at the moment in terms of my journey. So £3 off on Friday. Obviously we'll weigh again this Friday before work, and I will update you with how I get on when I weigh. I know that I've sort of lost the bulk of my weight already, but I would still like to get off another, I don't know, stone or something. And so hopefully this new focus is going to help me do that. But yeah, I'm not expecting obviously big losses every week, because I've had the weeks at the beginning of my journey of the big losses, so only expect to see sort of little losses from me, I think, probably in the months to come. But I feel pretty sort of relaxed and chilled. I don't feel the same sort of all or nothing sort of way that I used to feel before. I think when I was just doing Slimming World and totally focused on it, I felt quite sort of stressed, and I would make really sort of random decisions. Like if I was at work and I was like super, super hungry, and in my desk drawer I had like 100-calorie cup of soup that would have been like 5 sins or something, or a big packet of like Uncle Ben's microwave rice that's probably like 300, 400 calories, I would choose, but only 1 sin, I would choose to have the rice because it was only 1 sin, rather than, which is much, much higher in calories than I would having like a 100-calorie cup of soup. And I would make sort of decisions like that. And I knew I was sort of going against what I believed to be sort of common sense, but I did it because it was a lower sin thing. Whereas now I feel like I just eat a bit more instinctively. Like if I want to eat something, I do, but I don't sort of massively stress about it. I just try and pull back the rest of my day or the rest of my week. But I am, as I say, really, really needing to focus on making sure I'm still having enough nutrients and that I'm eating a bit more healthily moving forward. Because yeah, there was definitely the temptation to probably go too far the other way when I gave myself a bit of free rein. I think I've mentioned this before, but yeah, I now need to really pull back and make sure that I am having enough protein, that I am having enough fruit, fresh fruit and veg. And moving forward, that's got to be a bit of a focus for me. So I haven't got anything major on this week, I don't think. Oh, that's absolutely not true. On Friday this week, I am going away. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to be going away down to the coast. All the temptation, I can't believe I forgot that. All of the temptations are going to be on offer to me. Yeah, I need to somehow avoid fish and chips and cream teas and all that kind of stuff as much as I can. So I need to kind of think about how I'm going to navigate that, because I will obviously weigh before I go. But I need to make sure that I don't come back to a gain next week too. So anyway, that's my week ahead. How are you all going? I hope you're okay. I know a load of you will be off at the moment and having holidays and going around the country or going abroad and having a lovely time. So I hope whatever you're doing, you're really, really enjoying your summer. But I'd love to know how you're going on your weight loss journey. I know it is a little bit challenging at this time of year for everybody. You know, we're all quite social, and being away and having sort of a different routine is often a bit tricky, but I hope you're all doing okay and having a great time. Let me know how you're getting on with your weight loss journeys, and if you've weighed already, I'd love to know how you got on. But if you haven't weighed yet, I wish you all the best, and I'll weigh again on Friday, let you know how I'm getting on, and then I will obviously continue to kind of tell you how I get on each Friday when I go to group. So thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this has been a bit rambly as always, but I will see you next time in my next one. Take care, bye.